Hello, I want to start our conversation today with a question that you may have asked yourself many times, especially in recent years. What is the true purpose of my life? Maybe this question arose during a time of transition, perhaps when you turned 30, 40, or 50, and realized that the life you were living didn't quite match the one you had dreamed of. Or maybe it appeared on an ordinary morning when you woke up and wondered, is this really what I want to be doing for the next 20, 30 years of my life? If you're here with me today, it's because this quest for meaning, purpose, for a life truly worth living is beating inside your heart. And I want you to know that you're not alone on this journey. Current humans, especially those between 30 and 60 years old, live in a unique time in history. We have more freedom, more opportunities, more choices than any previous generation. But paradoxically, we also face more pressures, more expectations, and often more confusion about which path to follow. We are daughters, mothers, professionals, caregivers, dreamers. We balance multiple roles, multiple identities, multiple responsibilities, and amidst all of this, we sometimes lose sight of who we really are and what we truly want from life. Society tells us to be strong, but also sensitive, to be independent, but also caring, to follow our dreams, but also be practical. And amidst all these external voices, our own inner voice sometimes gets muffled, lost in the noise of everyday life. And that is why today I want to introduce you to two ancient philosophies from the East that can serve as true beacons on your journey of self-discovery. Taoism, a Chinese wisdom dating back over 2,500 years, and Ikigai, a Japanese concept that has helped generations find their reason for living. These are not just abstract philosophies or distant concepts from our reality. They are practical paths, tested by time, that can help you find clarity amid confusion, purpose amid distraction, and peace amid the chaos of modern life. Taoism will teach you about the art of flowing with life, finding harmony even in storms, and discovering your strength in softness. Ikigai will guide you in discovering what truly makes your heart beat faster, what makes you get out of bed with enthusiasm every morning. But here's the magic. These two philosophies are not just complementary. They intertwine in a beautiful and powerful way. The Tao, which means the way, might be exactly what leads you to your Ikigai, your reason for being. And Ikigai can be the practical manifestation of the Tao in your daily life. In the next few minutes, we will embark on a journey of discovery together. We will explore how these Eastern wisdoms can illuminate your path, help you navigate life's transitions with more grace, connect you with your most authentic essence, and guide you toward a truly fulfilling and meaningful life. This is not about abandoning your current life or making drastic changes overnight. It's about awakening to possibilities you may not have even known existed. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, the sacred in everyday life, and purpose in simplicity. So grab your favorite cup of tea, find a cozy corner, and let's begin this journey. Because the life you are seeking, the life that makes your heart sing, may be closer than you think. It might be waiting for you on the other side of the courage to look inward, question, dream, and act. Let's discover how the Tao and Ikigai can be the keys that open the door to the most authentic and fulfilled version of yourself. Let's begin our journey traveling through time to ancient China over 2,500 years ago. Imagine a world where life was simpler, where people lived in greater harmony with nature, where wisdom was passed down through stories and parables that touch the heart as much as the mind. It was in this context that one of the most profound and transformative philosophies of humanity was born: Taoism. And at the heart of this tradition is an almost mythical figure, a sage named Lao Tzu, whose name literally means old master. Legend has it that Lao Tzu was a librarian at the imperial court, a man who dedicated his life to study and contemplation. When he decided to leave civilization to live in harmony with nature, the guardian of the border begged him to record his wisdom before departing. Thus was born the Tao Te Ching, a small book of only 81 chapters that would become one of the most translated and influential texts in human history. But what makes this book so special? What makes its words still resonate so powerfully in our hearts after more than 2 millennia? The answer lies in its profound simplicity and its timeless relevance to the human experience. The Tao Te Ching is not a manual of rules or dogmas. It is an invitation to reflection, a mirror where we can see our own nature reflected. It is a collection of ideas about how to live in harmony with ourselves, with others, and with the world around us.
And yet the heart of all this is the concept of Tao. The word Tao is almost impossible to fully translate, but we can approximate it as the way, the principle, the source. Tao is the fundamental force that permeates and governs the entire universe. It is the natural rhythm of existence, the underlying pattern that connects all things. Think of Tao as an immense and eternal river. This river does not force its way through the landscape, it flows naturally, always finding the path of least resistance. When it encounters a rock, it does not try to destroy it simply flows around it over time. Its gentle persistence can even shape the hardest rock. We, as human beings, are part of that river. When we live in harmony with Tao, our lives flow naturally and gracefully. When we resist, we create turbulence, suffering, and conflict. Tao manifests through the natural cycles we see around us. Spring always follows winter. Day always follows night. The tide always rises and falls. There is a natural order, a cosmic rhythm that governs all things. And here is something beautiful: we women have a special connection to these cycles. Our bodies follow lunar RHYTHMS. Our lives are marked by seasons: the spring of youth, the summer of motherhood and career, the autumn of maturity and wisdom, the winter of reflection and legacy. Taoist teaches us that each of these seasons has its own beauty, its own wisdom, its own purpose. We do not need to resist the autumn of our lives by trying to stay forever in spring. We can embrace each phase with gratitude and curiosity, knowing that it brings its own unique gifts.
The 2 fundamental principles of Taoism that can completely transform your way of living are Wu Wei and Yin-Yang. Let's start with Wu Wei, which is perhaps the most revolutionary and misunderstood concept in Taoism. Wu Wei is often translated as non-action, but that can be misleading. It does not mean being passive or inactive. It means acting in harmony with the natural flow of life, without forcing, without unnecessarily fighting against the current. Imagine a bamboo during a storm. A rigid tree may break under the force of the wind, but the bamboo bends gracefully, dancing with the storm. When the storm passes, it naturally returns to its original position, intact and even stronger. This is the essence of Wu Wei, the strength that comes from flexibility, the effectiveness that comes from naturalness, the power that comes from gentleness. For us, modern people, Wu Wei can be a liberating revelation. We live in a culture that values constant action, incessant productivity, the doing more. We are taught that we need to force our way to success, that we need to fight against all obstacles, that resting is laziness, and that flowing is weakness. But Wu Wei teaches us the opposite. It teaches us that there is deep wisdom in knowing when to act and when to wait, in knowing when to push and when to surrender, in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Think of a difficult situation you're facing right now, maybe a conflict at work, an important decision about your career, or a challenge in a relationship. Instead of forcing a solution, how about trying Wu Wei? How about taking a step back, taking a deep breath, and asking, what would be the most natural, most harmonious response to this situation? Sometimes the most powerful action is patience. Sometimes the wisest response is silence. Sometimes, the most effective path is the smoothest.
The second fundamental principle is Yin-Yang, which you have probably seen represented in the famous circular symbol with two intertwined alves, one light and one dark. But Yin-Yang is much more than a beautiful symbol. It is a profound philosophy about the nature of reality and how we can live in greater harmony with ourselves and the world. Yin-Yang teaches us that life is not made up of opposing forces fighting each other, but of complements that complete each other. There is no light without darkness, no joy without sadness, no strength without softness, no action without rest. In our Western culture, we tend to see things in terms of either or. Either we are strong or vulnerable. Either we are successful or we are failures. Either we are independent or dependent. But Yin-Yang invites us to a richer and truer perspective. Both and. We can be strong and vulnerable. We can be successful and have moments of difficulty. We can be independent and accept help when needed. For us women, this is especially liberating. We are often pressured to choose between being a mother or having a career, between being feminine or powerful, between caring for others or caring for ourselves. Yin-Yang tells us that these are not choices we need to make. We can embrace our multifaceted nature. We can be gentle warriors, compassionate leaders, professionally fulfilled mothers, women who nurture others without forgetting to nurture themselves. The secret lies in dynamic balance. Just as the Yin-Yang symbol is always in motion, always changing, we can also flow between different aspects of our nature as the situation demands. There is something profoundly feminine in Taoist wisdom. Perhaps it is because Taoism honors qualities that our culture often associates with the feminine: intuition, receptivity, the ability to nurture, the wisdom of cycles, the strength that comes from softness. TTC, the Tao Te Ching speaks of the Tao as the feminine mystery, TTC, the mother of all things. TTC, not because the Tao is literally feminine, but because it embodies qualities we recognize as deeply feminine, the capacity to give birth, to nurture, to sustain life. TTC, we, women, have a natural connection to cycles. Our bodies follow the lunar rhythm. Our lives are marked by cyclical transformations, menarche, pregnancy, menopause. We intimately know the power of creation, transformation, renewal. TTC, Taoism invites us to honor these cycles instead of resisting them. TTC, in our young and fast-paced culture, we are taught to fear aging, to resist change, to try to remain forever in the same phase of life. TTC, but Taoist wisdom teaches us that each phase of life has its own beauty and wisdom. TTC, the young have the energy of spring, the curiosity to discover the world. TTC, the mature woman has the strength of summer, the ability to create and nurture. TTC, the older woman has the wisdom of autumn, the perspective that comes from experience. TTC, we do not need to apologize for aging. TTC, we do not need to try to be who we were 10 or 20 years ago. TTC, we can celebrate who we are now, in this moment, in this phase of our journey. TTC. Taoism also teaches us about the beauty of simplicity. In a world that constantly bombards us with messages about what we should buy, how we should look, what we should achieve, Taoism invites us to find contentment in the simple. It is not about living in poverty or denying life's pleasures. It is about discovering that true wealth is not in accumulating things, but in appreciating what we already have. It is about finding joy in a sunset, peace in a cup of tea, satisfaction in a sincere hug. When we live simply, we create space for what truly matters. We create space for relationships, for creativity, for contemplation, for connection with our deepest essence. And perhaps the most important, Taoist teaches us about the courage to be authentic. In a world that constantly tells us how we should be, the Tao invites us to discover who we truly are beyond all expectations and social mass. Being authentic doesn't mean being perfect. It means being true. It means honoring our feelings, even when they are inconvenient. It means expressing our opinions, even when they are unpopular. It means following our dreams, even when they are misunderstood. Tao teaches us that when we are truly ourselves, when we stop trying to be who others want us to be, we find an insatiable source of energy and joy. We find our natural strength, our innate wisdom, our authentic power. And it is here that Taoism beautifully connects with our next theme, Ikigai. Because when we live in harmony with the Tao, when we embrace our authentic nature, when we flow with the cycles of life, we are creating the perfect conditions to discover our reason for being, our unique purpose in the world. Now, our journey takes us from the Chinese continent to the paradisiacal islands of Okinawa, in southern Japan. This archipelago of stunning beauty guards one of the most precious secrets for a long, happy, and meaningful life, the concept of Ikigai. Okinawa is not only famous for its white sand beaches and crystal clear waters. It is global known as the home of one of the longest living populations on the planet. Here, it is common to find people living beyond 100 years, not just surviving, but thriving, active, engaged, and radiating vitality. What makes these people live so long and so well? Of course, factors like a healthy diet, regular physical activity, and strong community bonds play a role. But there is something deeper, something that permeates Okinawa's entire culture, the philosophy of Ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese word that has no direct translation, but we can approximate it as a reason for living, reason for being, or what makes life worth it. It is composed of two words, Iki, meaning life, and Yangai, meaning value or merit. Literally, it is the value of life or that which gives value to life. But Ikigai is much more than an abstract philosophical concept. It is a living, pulsating force that moves the people of Okinawa every day. It is what makes them get out of bed with enthusiasm every morning, even at 90, 100 years old. When researchers asked Okinawa centenarians what their secret to longevity was, many simply replied, "My Ikigai." Some talked about caring for the garden, others about teaching community children, others about preserving cultural traditions. Each had their own Ikigai, but all shared one thing in common, a clear and passionate reason to live. And here is something beautiful. Ikigai is not something you find once and that's it. It is not like a diploma you earn and then put away in a drawer. Ikigai is alive, dynamic, evolving. It grows with you, changes with you, adapts to different phases of your life. A woman might have caring for young children as her Ikigai during a certain phase of life. Later, she might discover that her Ikigai is mentoring young professionals. Then, she might find purpose in preserving her family's history or creating artigo. Ikigai is not a prison, it is a continuous dance between who you are and how you choose to contribute to the world. But what makes Ikigai so powerful? Why can this simple idea of having a reason to live literally add years to your life and life to your years? The answer lies in modern neuroscience. When we have a clear purpose, when we wake up knowing that something meaningful awaits us, our brain releases neurotransmitters that promote well-being, reduce stress, and strengthen our immune system. People with a strong sense of purpose are 50% less likely to develop dementia. They recover more quickly from illnesses. They report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. They literally live longer. But how do we discover our Ikigai? How do we find that reason for being that can transform our lives? The answer lies at the intersection of four fundamental elements, often represented as four overlapping circles: 1. What you love, your passion; 2. What you are good at, your profession; 3. What the world needs, your mission; 4. What you can be paid for, your vocation; your Ikigai is at the center, where all four circles meet. Let's explore each of these pillars, starting with what you love, your passion. When was the last time you did something that made you lose complete track of time? When was the last time you were so absorbed in activity that you forgot to eat, check your phone, or worry about daily problems? These moments of total absorption, which psychologists call flow, are precious clues about your authentic passions. They are windows to your soul, revealing what truly makes your heart singular but here is the challenge. Many of us lose touch with our passions along the way. Amid the responsibilities of work, family, and social obligations, our passions become buried under layers of should, must, and have to. I remember a client who came to me at 45 years old, feeling completely lost. She had a successful career, a loving family, but felt that something was missing. During our conversation, she casually mentioned that she used to love driving as a child, but had stopped because it wasn't practical. I suggested she buy a basketball and spend just 15 minutes a day driving, without pressure, without judgment, just for pleasure. 3 months later, she was radiant. She had enrolled in a watercolor course, was creating illustrations for the company's blog where she worked, and most importantly, she had rediscovered a part of herself she thought she had lost forever. Your passions are waiting for you. They might be dormant, but they are not dead. They might be whispering softly, but they are still there. The question is, are you willing to listen? The second pillar is what you are good at your profession, your skills, your natural talents. Here, you want you to think beyond the technical skills you learned in school or at work. I also want you to consider your invisible skills, those that our society often underestimates but are incredibly valuable. Maybe you are exceptionally good at listening to people, at making them feel understood and welcomed. Maybe you have a natural talent for organizing, for creating order out of chaos. Maybe you are a born mediator, capable of finding solutions that work for everyone. Often, we are blind to our own talents because they come so naturally to us that we assume everyone can do the same. But that's not true. You have unique combinations of skills, perspectives, and experiences that no one else in the world possesses. The third pillar is what the world needs, your mission, your unique contribution to making the world a better place. This does not mean you need to save the entire world or solve all of humanity's problems. It means finding a way to contribute that resonates with your values and concerns. Maybe you deeply care about children's education. Maybe your mission is to help other women develop self-confidence. Maybe you want to contribute to environmental preservation, or to caring for the elderly, or to promoting art in your community. The world needs what you have to offer. It needs your unique perspective, your specific combination of talents and passions, your particular way of seeing and solving problems. The fourth and final pillar is what you can be paid for, your vocation, the financial sustainability of your purpose. Here, you want to address a dangerous myth that our culture perpetuates, the idea that purpose and money are incompatible, that if you are doing something you love, you should expect to be well compensated for it. This is not only false but harmful. You deserve to be compensated for the value you create in the world. You deserve financial security while living your purpose. In fact, when you are aligned with your Ikigai, you often find that you can create more value and therefore more income than when you are just working for money. The secret is to find creative ways to monetize your passion, your talents, and your mission. This could mean turning a hobby into a business, using your skills in a new way in your current career, or creating something entirely new that the world didn't know it needed. I also want to share something with you that can be liberating. You don't need to have just one Ikigai. In fact, most people have multiple Ikigais, different reasons for living that coexist and complement each other. Ken Moji, a Japanese neuroscientist who has written extensively about Ikigai, explains this beautifully. Most religions believe in only one God. But in Japan, we believe there are 8 million gods. This influences how Japanese people view Ikigai. We don't believe there's only one important thing, we don't pursue just one goal. There can be thousands of different things that bring us pleasure. We are multifaceted beings, with multiple identities and roles. We can have an Ikigai related to our career, another related to our family, another related to our hobbies or social causes. You can find purpose in being a present and loving mother. At the same time, you can find purpose in being a competent and innovative professional. And you can also find purpose in being an artist, a volunteer, a mentor, a friend. These different Ikigais do not compete with each other, they enrich one another. Being a good mother can make you more empathetic at work. Being a successful professional can give you resources to support causes that matter to you. Being an artist can bring creativity to all other aspects of your life. And here is another liberating truth: your Ikigai can evolve. What gave meaning to your life at 25 may be different from what gives meaning at 45 or 65. And that's not only okay, it is natural and out. Perhaps at 30 your main Ikigai was building a solid career. By 40, it might have shifted to creating a balanced family. At 50, you might be evolving into mentoring the next generation or exploring a creative passion you had set aside. Each phase of life brings its own opportunities for purpose and meaning. The key is to stay open, curious, and willing to continually rediscover yourself. Ikigai also teaches us about the importance of starting small. You don't need to revolutionize your entire life overnight. You can start with small steps, small experiments, small changes that gradually lead you toward your purpose. Maybe it's dedicating 15 minutes a day to something you love. Maybe it's volunteering once a month for a cause that matters to you. Maybe it's using a skill you have to help a friend or colleague. These small acts of alignment with your purpose create positive momentum. They generate energy, clarity, and confidence. And gradually, step by step, you'll find yourself living a life increasingly aligned with who you truly are and what truly matters to you. Ikigai reminds us that life is not just about surviving or even succeeding by others' standards. It is about thriving in a way that is genuinely your own, contributing to the world in a way only you can, finding joy and meaning in the process. And when we combine this Japanese wisdom with the Taoist principles we explored earlier, something magical happens. The Tao teaches us to flow with life, and Ikigai gives us a direction for that flow. The Tao teaches us about harmony, and Ikigai shows us how to create harmony between our passions, talents, values, and practical needs. Together, they form a map for a truly fulfilling life, a life that honors both our individual nature and our connection to the greater whole.
Now we reach the heart of our journey, discovering how these two Eastern wisdoms intertwine beautifully and powerfully to create a unique path to a full and meaningful life. At first glance, Taoism and Ikigai may seem like separate concepts coming from different cultures with distinct focuses. But when we look more deeply, we find that they are like two sides of the same precious coin, two complementary expressions of a universal truth about how to live well. Taoism teaches us about how to live, with flow, harmony, and authenticity. Ikigai teaches us about why to live, with purpose, passion, and contribution. Together, they answer the two most fundamental questions of human existence. How should I live? And why am I here? Let's explore the profound connections between these philosophies, starting with the question of harmony and balance. Taoism speaks to us about living in harmony with the Tao, flowing with the natural forces of the universe, finding balance between the complementary opposites of yin and yang. Ikigai talks about finding harmony among four fundamental aspects of our existence: passion, talent, mission, and sustainability. But see how they connect. When you are truly aligned with your Ikigai, you naturally live in harmony with the Tao. When you are doing what you love, using your natural talents, contributing to something greater than yourself, and supporting yourself financially, you are flowing with the natural rhythm of life. There is no struggle, no resistance, no feeling of swimming against the current. There is a sense of rightness, of being exactly where you should be, doing exactly what you should be doing. Think of a woman who discovered that her Ikigai is in creating therapeutic gardens for hospitals. She loves plants and design, passion, has a natural talent for horticulture and an eye for beauty, profession, is contributing to the healing and well-being of others, mission, and can support herself financially through this work, vocation. When she is working, she doesn't feel like she is working in the traditional sense. She is flowing, creating, contributing. She is living in Wu Wei, effortless action. She is in harmony with her most authentic nature and the needs of the world around her. The second fundamental connection is naturalness and authenticity. Taoism deeply values naturalness, being true to your essential nature, not forcing or pretending to be something you are not. Ikigai is also about authenticity, discovering your unique purpose, not the purpose others expect you to have. When you try to live an Ikigai that is not truly yours, when you force a passion you don't feel, or try to use talents you don't possess, or embrace a mission that doesn't resonate with your values, you are resisting the TO. You are creating friction, tension, imbalance. But when you discover and live your authentic Ikigai, you are aligned with the TAU. You are being who you naturally are, expressing your unique gifts, contributing in a way that naturally flows from who you are. The third connection is about individual purpose and universal harmony. Taoism teaches us that we are part of something greater, the TAU, the universal force that connects all things. We are not isolated islands, but drops in the infinite ocean of existence. Ikigai teaches us that our individual purpose must include a contribution to something greater than ourselves. This is one of the most beautiful differences between the Western concept of following your passion and the Eastern concept of Ikigai. In the West, we often focus only on what makes us happy individually, but Ikigai insists that true purpose must include a dimension of service, of contribution to the greater good. And this is perfectly aligned with Taoist wisdom. When we live in harmony with the TAU, we naturally become more compassionate, more generous, more connected with the well-being of all beings. Now let's make this practical. How can you use these integrated knowledges to navigate the transitions and challenges in your life? Imagine you're facing a major decision, perhaps about changing careers, maybe about a relationship, or where to live. Instead of agonizing over the right choice, you can use the principles of Teiyu and Ikigai to find clarity. First, practice Wu Wei. Instead of forcing a decision, step back, breathe, connect with your inner wisdom. Ask yourself, which option flows more naturally? Which feels more harmonious? Which honors both my individual nature and my connection to something greater? Then use the Ikigai framework to evaluate your options. Passion. Which option excites me the most? Which makes my heart beat faster? Profession. Which option best utilizes my talents and natural skills? Mission. Which option allows me to contribute more meaningfully to the world? Vocation. Which option is more sustainable financially in the long term? But here's the secret. You don't need one option to be perfect in all 4 areas immediately. Remember Wu Wei. Sometimes the path reveals itself gradually. Sometimes you start with passion and mission, and profession and vocation develop over time. Let me tell the story of Maria, a 48-year-old executive who came to me feeling completely out of sync with her life. She had a successful career in finance, but felt she was just going with the flow without any real purpose. We started exploring her Taoist values. What made her feel in flow? When did she feel most authentic? We discovered that she always felt more alive when she was teaching, whether training new employees or helping her daughter with homework. Then we explored her Ikigai potential. She loved learning and sharing knowledge. Passion. She had a natural talent for simplifying complex concepts. Profession. She deeply believed in the importance of financial education for women. Mission. And she had valuable experience that she could monetize. Vocation. Instead of making a drastic change immediately, she started small, offering financial education workshops for women in her community on weekends. Gradually, this grew. She developed an online course, started writing a blog, and was invited to speak at events. 2 years later, she made the full transition to becoming a full-time financial educator. But most importantly, she was living in Wu Wei, flowing with her authentic nature, and living her Ikigai, contributing to something that truly mattered to her. The key was integrating Taoist patience with the clarity of Ikigai. She did not force the change. She allowed it to unfold naturally. She did not impulsively abandon financial security. She gradually built a new income source aligned with her purpose. This is the beauty of the synthesis between TAU and Ikigai. It gives us both the direction, through Ikigai, and the method, through TAU, to create meaningful changes in our lives. But how do you integrate this wisdom into your daily life? How do you live these principles, not only in big decisions, but also in the small moments of each day? Start by creating moments of inner connection. This can be as simple as 5 minutes of mindful breathing in the morning or a contemplative walk at the end of the day. These moments of quiet allow you to connect with your inner wisdom, your authentic nature, and your deepest purpose. During these moments, ask simple yet powerful questions. How am I feeling right now? What is my heart telling me? How can I honor both my individual nature and my connection to something greater today? Practice observing nature as a teacher. Taoism teaches us that nature is our great master of how to live in harmony. Observe how trees grow, not forcing but following their essential nature. Observe how water flows, always finding its way, always adapting, but never losing its essence. When facing challenges, ask yourself, how would nature handle this? How can I be like water, persistent but flexible? How can I be like a tree, rooted but able to bend with the wind? Create an alignment journal. Each night, reflect on the day that has passed. When did I feel most aligned with my authentic nature? When did I feel I was contributing meaningfully? What small adjustments can I make tomorrow to live more in harmony with my purpose? This is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is about gentle awareness and gradual adjustments. Like a gardener caring for their plants with loving attention, you are nurturing the growth of your life with patience and wisdom. Cultivate an aligned community. Both Taoism and Ikigai recognize the importance of community. Seek out people who share your values, support your growth, and celebrate your authenticity. This might mean joining interest groups related to your passions, finding mentors or mentees, or simply cultivating deeper friendships with people who inspire you to be your best self. Finally, practice active gratitude. Both TU and Ikigai teach us to appreciate what we already have while growing toward what we can become. Every day, acknowledge something you are grateful for. It could be something big like your health or family, or something small like a perfect cup of coffee or a stranger's smile. This practice keeps your heart open and your perspective balanced. Integrating these wisdoms is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's about small daily steps toward a more authentic, harmonious, and meaningful life. It's about honoring both who you are and who you are becoming. And remember, you are not on this journey alone. You are part of a millennia-old lineage of women who sought wisdom, questioned, grew, and contributed. You carry within you the strength of all the women who came before you and the responsibility to pave the way for those who will come after. Now that we understand the philosophy, let's make it practical. I will share with you concrete tools that you can use immediately to start integrating the wisdom of TAU and Ikigai into your daily life. Let's begin with Taoist practices that you can incorporate into your daily routine. The first is moving meditation. You don't need to sit in a lotus position for hours. Taoism teaches us that we can find meditation in conscious movement. Try taking a contemplative walk every day, not a walk to exercise or to get somewhere, but a walk to be present, to connect with your body, with nature, with your inner rhythm. As you walk, pay attention to the sensation of your feet touching the ground. Observe your natural breathing. Let your thoughts flow without clinging to them. If your mind starts to race with worries or to-do lists, gently bring your attention back to the present moment. Another powerful practice is turning everyday activities into rituals of presence. Cooking, cleaning, gardening. All these activities can become forms of active meditation when done with mindfulness. When preparing a meal, for example, pay full attention to what you are doing. Feel the texture of the ingredients, observe the colors, appreciate the aromas. Be completely present in the act of nourishing yourself and others. This practice not only brings more peace and satisfaction to routine activities, but also develops your ability to be present in all aspects of life. And presence is fundamental both to living in harmony with the Tao and to discovering your Ikigai. A third practice is conscious observation of natural cycles. Start paying attention to the rhythms of nature around you, the phases of the moon, the changes of seasons, weather patterns, but more importantly, begin to recognize your own internal cycles. Are there times of the day when you feel more creative? Are there times of the month when you feel more introspective? Are there seasons of the year when you naturally want to expand or withdraw? Instead of fighting against these natural rhythms, learn to work with them. If you are more creative in the morning, protect that time for important projects. If you feel more reflective during certain times, honor that need for introspection. The fourth practice is Taoist journaling. Every night before sleeping, write about your day using these guiding questions. When today did I feel in flow, in harmony with my nature? When did I unnecessarily resist what was happening? How can I bring more wu-wei, effortless action into my life tomorrow? What small adjustment can I make to live more authentically? It's not about overanalyzing, but about gentle awareness. You are developing your ability to recognize when you are aligned with the Tao and when you are resisting it. Now, let's work specifically on discovering your Ikigai. I will guide you through practical exercises that you can do to map out your 4 pillars. Exercise 1. Mapping your passions. Take a sheet of paper and divide it into 4 columns. In the first column, write, "What I love." Now think of activities that make you lose track of time. When you're doing what, do you forget to eat? Look at your phone, worry about problems. Write down everything that comes to mind without judgment. Include both serious and frivolous activities. Maybe you love solving complex problems at work. Maybe you love dancing in the kitchen while cooking. Maybe you love long conversations with friends about life. Everything counts. Then look at your list and circle the 3 activities that make your heart sing the most. These are important clues about your authentic passions. Exercise 2. Identifying your talents. In the second column, write, "What I am good at." Here, I want you to think beyond technical skills. Also include your invisible skills, those that come so naturally to you that you might not even recognize them as special talents. Ask yourself, what do people often ask me for help with? What kind of compliments do I regularly receive? In what situations do I feel naturally confident? What problems do I solve easily while others find them difficult? Include skills like listening, organizing, mediating conflicts, making people feel welcome, simplifying complex things, seeing patterns, creating beauty, inspiring others. Exercise 3. Discovering your mission. In the third column, write what the world needs. Think about the problems that bother you the most. When you read the news or observe the world around you, what makes your heart ache? What makes you think someone should do something about this? It could be something big like climate change or social inequality. It could be something more specific like children who can't read, women who lack confidence, elderly people who feel lonely, or young professionals who don't know how to manage money. Don't worry if you can't solve the entire problem. The question is, which part of this problem would you like to contribute to solving? Exercise 4. Exploring income possibilities. In the fourth column, write, what I can get paid for. Now look at the previous 3 columns and ask yourself, how can I combine my passions, talents, and mission in ways that create value for others? Remember, value doesn't necessarily mean a physical product. It can be a service, an experience, knowledge, inspiration, connection, problem solving. For example, if you love writing, passion, have a talent for simplifying complex concepts, profession, and care about women struggling with self-esteem, mission, you could create a blog, write a book, offer coaching, develop workshops, or create an online course. Exercise 5. Finding the intersection. Now comes the most exciting part. Look at your 4 lists and look for patterns, connections, intersections. Is there something that appears in multiple columns? Are there ways to combine elements from different columns? Is there a common theme that runs through your answers? Draw a Venn diagram with 4 overlapping circles. In the center, where all the circles meet, write the possibilities that incorporate elements from all 4 areas. This center is your potential Ikigai. It may not be entirely clear yet, and that's okay. Ikigai is a journey of discovery, not a fixed destination. Let's create a practical plan to start moving in this direction. Week 1. Experimentation. Choose an activity that intersects at least 2 of your Ikigai circles. Commit to dedicating at least 30 minutes a day to this activity for a week. For example, if you discover that you love writing and have a talent for it, write for 30 minutes every day. Don't worry about perfection or where it will lead. Just experiment, explore, play. Week 2. Connection. Find other people who share your interests or mission. This can be online or in person. Join groups, attend events, start conversations. The goal is not traditional networking, but finding your tribe, people who understand and support your purpose journey. Week 3. Contribution. Find a small but meaningful way to contribute to your mission. Volunteer, help a friend, share your knowledge, create something useful. The goal is to experience the joy of contributing, of using your talents for something greater than yourself. Week 4. Integration. Reflect on the previous 3 weeks. What have you learned about yourself? What brought you more energy and satisfaction? What do you want to continue exploring? Create a simple plan for the next month, incorporating the insights you've gained. Remember the Taoist principles. Throughout this process, keep the Taoist principles in mind. Wu Wei. Do not force. If something is not flowing, perhaps it is not the right time or the right approach. Patience. Great changes happen gradually. Trust the process. Naturalness. Honor your authentic nature. Do not try to be someone you are not. Balance. Maintain harmony between action and rest, exploration and stability. Finally, do not try to undertake this journey alone. Share your insights and goals with supportive people. Consider finding a mentor, a coach, or a support group. Remember, asking for help is not a weakness. It is wisdom. Even the strongest trees grow better when connected to a forest. The journey to discover and live your Ikigai is not a race. It is a dance. There will be moments of clarity and moments of confusion, moments of rapid progress and moments of apparent stagnation. All of this is a natural part of the process. The important thing is to keep dancing, keep exploring, keep growing, because every step you take toward your authentic purpose not only transforms your own life, but also contributes to transforming the world. You have within you everything you need to live an extraordinary life. The wisdom of Tiao and Ikigai are simply tools to help you unlock and express that extraordinariness that already exists within you. Let's recall what we discovered today. We explored 2 ancient wisdoms that, when combined, offer a powerful map for a full and meaningful life. From Taoism, we learned about the art of living in harmony with the natural flow of life. We discovered the power of Wu Wei, effortless action that comes when we stop fighting against the current and start dancing with it. We explored Yin-Yang and how we can embrace our multifaceted nature without having to choose between different aspects of who we are. From Ikigai, we learned about the importance of having a clear reason to live, a purpose that makes us get out of bed with enthusiasm every morning. We discovered the 4 pillars: passion, profession, mission, and vocation, and how to find the magical intersection where all of them meet. But perhaps the most powerful discovery was realizing how these 2 philosophies perfectly complement each other. Tiao teaches us how to live with flow, authenticity, and harmony. Ikigai teaches us why to live with purpose, passion, and contribution. When you live your authentic Ikigai, you are automatically in harmony with Tao. When you flow with Tao, you naturally move toward your Ikigai. They are two sides of the same precious coin, the coin of a truly well-lived life. And here is something I want you to never forget. You don't need to be young to start this journey. You don't need to have everything resolved to take the first step. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. In fact, if you are in your 30s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, you have unique advantages on this journey. You have life experience. You have wisdom gained through overcoming challenges. You have clarity about what truly matters, which only comes with maturity. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where you need to be to begin the next chapter of your story, a chapter that could be the most meaningful and rewarding of all. So what will be your first step? It doesn't have to be big or dramatic. In fact, the most powerful steps are often the simplest. Maybe it's dedicating 15 minutes tomorrow morning to do the Ikigai mapping exercise I shared with you. Maybe it's taking a contemplative walk and asking your heart, what do you really want? Maybe it's reigniting a passion you abandoned years ago. Maybe it's having an honest conversation with someone close about your dreams and fears. Maybe it's simply starting to pay attention to the moments when you feel most alive, most authentic, most connected with your purpose. I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now. Not an impossible commitment that you won't be able to fulfill, but a small, specific, and achievable one. Think of a concrete action you can take in the next 24 hours to honor what you discovered today. Write down this action. Put it in your schedule. Treat it as a sacred commitment to yourself. Because here's the truth. The life you are seeking will not appear magically. It will emerge through the choices you make, the steps you take, the courage you demonstrate day after day. And when you take that first step, and I know you will, I want you to congratulate yourself. I want you to recognize the courage that this represents. I want you to celebrate the fact that you are choosing to grow, explore, and evolve. Because in a world that often encourages us to settle, to accept the status quo, to avoid making waves, choosing to pursue your authentic purpose is a revolutionary act. It is an act of self-love. It is an act of faith in your potential. And remember, you are not on this journey alone. There are millions of women around the world who are asking similar questions, seeking purpose, wanting to live more authentically and meaningfully. Find these women, connect with them, support each other, share your discoveries, your challenges, your victories, because when women support each other in their growth journeys, magical things happen. I want to leave you with one last reflection. There is a phrase in the Tao Te Ching that says, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Your journey to a more aligned, authentic, and meaningful life doesn't require 1,000 miles. It only requires the next step, and then the next, and then the next. Every step you take toward your authentic Ikigai, every moment you live in harmony with the Tao, you are not only transforming your own life, but also contributing to the transformation of the world. Because when you live your purpose, when you express your unique gifts, when you contribute in a way only you can, you are adding something precious to the fabric of humanity. You are making the world more beautiful, wiser, more compassionate. Your life matters, your dreams matter, your purpose matters. And the world needs what you have to offer, not a diluted or modified version to please others, but the most authentic and powerful version of yourself. Trust the process. Trust your journey. Trust the wisdom you carry within yourself. You have everything you need to start. You have everything you need to grow. You have everything you need to flourish. The Tao is flowing through you at this very moment. Your Ikigai is waiting to be discovered and lived. Your extraordinary life is waiting to be created. The perfect moment is now. The perfect place is here. The perfect person is you, not when you have lost weight or gotten that promotion or solved all your problems, but you now. with all your beautiful imperfections and authentic humanity. Your 1,000-mile journey begins with the next step, and I believe in you. I believe in your courage, your wisdom, your infinite potential. Go ahead, take that first step, and then the next, and then the next. Your extraordinary life is waiting for you, and it begins now. If this message touched you, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments saying which Stoic principle resonates most with your Ikigai, and share this video with someone who needs to hear these words.